On the Southern Farming Muster, we're off to catch up with Nathan Nelson from DairyNZ. He's the Consulting Officer for Eastern Southland. So, Nathan, welcome back to the Southern Farming Muster.
Thanks, Phil.
Right, well, Eastern Southland, that's in the middle of where I get to live. It's a little bit damp, isn't it, Nathan?
Yeah, we're just discussion group there at Gore Road on Tuesday, and we're chatting to the guys, and some of them sort of had a fair bit of rain overnight and again on Tuesday. So.
Right, so how are people coping with it? Is it affecting production?
To be fair, it will have pulled it back slightly, just depending on how guys have managed it. Certainly chatting to a few that were setting alarms at funny times of the night to stand cows off. So, yeah, just sort of looking to try and minimise that pasture damage, really. But, the cows never look that great on a rainy day, but most cows are still milking all right. But,
yep.
Yeah,
and I suppose a lot of them, you're around that sort of peak period where you're trying to achieve that nice high peak and, more importantly, try and keep it up there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, I tend to sort of say to guys, great, what are you peaking at now? And then let's have a look and see, how the cows are still going in December. But, yeah, like anywhere between, probably prior to last week, foul weather guys are probably at peak. But, yeah.
That is the challenge, and of course, hard to make milk without bulls, basically, but we need them well in advance, and it's all about the bulls at the moment.
Yeah, so just looking at that, probably the topic of conversation a wee bit is just looking at making sure that you've actually got enough of them to start with, which is always sort of a challenge, I guess, because most people don't want too many of them roaming around, but, just working out that you actually have got enough, and you've got enough bull teams to service those cows that you're trying to get in calf that you don't pick up with your AI period.
Right. So how many bulls do you actually need? What's the sort of ideal ratio?
So the bull ratio that we're sort of talking about these days for mixed age cows is about 1 to 30, and probably about 1 to 15 for young stock. So some of the thinking, perhaps guys will think, gee, that's quite low. Possibly the ratio that they'll have or have worked to is 1 to 50 for mixed age cows. But yeah, certainly in more recent years, that 1 to 30 is the target, really. And again, people sort of asking why. I guess the question with that is that empty rates are still being quite high as well. So it's one factor in a range of factors to work at.
Right.
More
so
cows
is it
and calf, really.
So is it 1 to 30 cows that you expect them to mate, or 1 to 30 cows out of the total herd?
Yeah. So the 1 to 30, obviously 1 bull to 30 empty cows. So
yep.
That's the target.
So you work out how many you expect in your sort of 6 or 8 weeks or whatever of AB, and then work out how many won't be pregnant by that stage.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. Like, I guess you've got 2 ways to work it out. Either you get the vets in early and do a sort of 6-week age pregnancy scan to work out how many cows that you've actually got in calf for this season, or else you have to work on last year's 6-week in calf rate, and sort of estimate how many cows you think are pregnant at 6 weeks or whenever you put the bulls out, and then obviously that'll give you your cows that are still to get in calf, and then just divide that by 30, and that's how many bulls you actually need in that paddock or in that mob with the cows. So, yeah.
And it's no use having a bull there that's no bloody good, basically. So you don't want any duds, so you should check that they're not a dud as well. Yeah, well, it's interesting looking at some of the guys that have been testing bulls on farm,
last season and certainly this season, and just looking at, getting a semen sample tested, and a few of them sort of coming back with, like watery semen or poor volumes, or sort of just firing blanks. So, sort of for a lower investment, getting an assessment done, a fertility test done on your bulls is probably a good risk management strategy, I would have thought. So,
if it's not too rude, how the hell do they actually do it?
I don't know. Like, to be fair, it's probably not the best job in the world, but yeah.
All right.
It's interesting. I was at an LIC field day the other day, and one of the guys, Brian from Newtek, introduced himself as the bull wanker. So I think that's probably about as far as we need to go with that one.
Well, there you go. If you need to know how to get it done, or you want to get it done, I'm sure you could talk to your vet or someone about getting it done anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Vet's a great starting point, and yeah, certainly recommended strategy anyway.
Yep. Socializing your bulls. So, You've got a sperm test off, and now you're teaching them to talk nicely to the cows, or is it not that sort of stuff, socialising?
Yeah, again, I guess it's, like most guys probably would, the bulls arrive, a couple of days or a week before they're to go on with the herd, because most people don't sort of want them running around on farm and making a nuisance of themselves. But it really is, having those bulls put together and obviously needing to work out, their sort of structure and who the top boss is before you put them in with the herd, because, of course, if you only just mix them together before they go on with the herd and they start fighting and go lame, well, a lame bull's useless and really shouldn't, be used for that first little while until it recovers. So it's good just to put them together and sort of have them socialised and just work out who the boss is and who the boy is.
Yeah, sounds good. So keep the bulls off the yard and off the concrete. How do you persuade the bulls that they don't really want to follow the cows in through the milking shed?
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? Yeah, and this is the interesting one, because this one's going to come down to farmers' preference, really. Like, some guys will train the bulls to stay in the paddock, so just send a few guys down initially and work hard at just training those bulls to actually stay in the paddock. And once you've done that, they sort of do get into a routine. Or else other guys, that's not the way that they want to go, so the bulls will come up to the yard, but just trying to cut the bulls off before they go through the shed or onto the concrete, and they do soon work out sort of what routine or what way you're going to go on that.
Yeah, I suppose as long as they know the cows are coming back, they're probably quite happy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right, and the last one, BVD vaccination. I dare say there's a few other things you want to make sure the bulls haven't got when they turn up at your place.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, the one with the BVD one, it's probably almost even just getting a wee bit too late now. The sort of recommendation on that's 2 months prior to service. So possibly a wee bit late on that one, but certainly just chat to your vet on that one as well. But yeah, a range of diseases, BVD is probably just the one, but lepto jabbed and TB and the other ones as well. But the BVD one's probably more, again, you look at production and possibly in the last couple of years, that might be again another factor that's happening for your herder on farm that's not helping with getting those 6-week calf rates and lowering final empty rates. So.
Yeah. Oh, well, it gives people plenty of stuff to think about. So, Nathan, thanks for your time on the Southern Farming Muster, and we're looking forward to catching up with one of the team again next Thursday.
Thanks very much, Phil.